Hi and welcome to another episode. And what we've got here is a Yamaha MU2000. And I know the people that recommended this thing to me are shouting, going, well, have you updated it to EX yet? Well, obviously not, because this is what this particular episode is going to be about. For those that don't know, this is a sound generator. It does an awful lot of fancy stuff, more than what I could explain to you in this bit, because really I'm just trying to keep this particular episode to how to upgrade this to an MU2000EX, because that gives it a kick up the backside basically, and makes it do even more stuff like general sound or general standard, depending on how you want to say what it is, but the GS modes, and it gives it some more stuff, all more interesting things. Now, as I say though, I'm not going to bore you with all that from me. I shall put a link in down below so you can look at a little wiki and learn a bit more about it that way, because I'm not going to do a whole history thing on this. Apart from, as I say, it came out in 1999. The EX came out at I can only assume, near the end of 1999, and then 2000. So it's like they went, oh, actually, we could have done something a bit more with this. So we'll have a look at the back, and then we'll come back to that EX bit. So at the back, there's a panel that opens up, and you can put in, let's actually open it up and show. This is what an empty one looks like, sadly, because I'd love to put some stuff in here. You can put 4 different PLG boards in here, which basically extends it even more on what it can do. Now, since I'm using it for computer games, it's not really going to be that important, though it would be nice to get hold of the drum one, because that is supposed to enhance a fair few games. But that's quite costly as it is, and I'm sure you can guess this was costly because it had to come all the way from Japan, because they never exported them. So you have to find someone in Japan who's bored of them and sell it. Anyway, we've got MIDI throughout A and B, so you can have 2 MIDI devices handing in. And we've got different modes. So we've got normal MIDI, so it's controlled from here, PC 2, Mac, and USB. It's currently in the USB mode for a reason, and I've got the cable in, which is a USB-B port, and you'll find out in a minute. And then there's to the host cable, power, and then we have the RCA or the phono sounds, and of course we've got digital output there as well. So we're still moving on. Now onto the front bit, I'm going to have to sort of hold this up at the same time, because I don't want to squash all the cables at the back, so please ignore the wobbliness and seeing all my wonderful camera gear. Now, my particular screen has got a little bit of a scratch on, but that's fine because it came out in 1999, and when it's actually turned on, you can't see it. So we've got audio out and input. Sorry, they're the inputs for both of those two, so you can like maybe add a microphone or add a guitar or something like that if you wanted to. Earphone out, another MIDI in A, which basically shares the one at the back. Power button, memory card thing, which I need to learn more about them. I think you can save some data on here. And then all the different functions of what they all do, so you can quickly change to a guitar or an organ or some strings and so on and so forth. And then buttons to make it go into certain modes, and then some other stuff to mute it and stuff like that, and select and go through the menu systems. So let's turn it on, and hopefully you can see there. See, it says power on, MU2000. It's checking for PLGs, and it says host is offline. Now that is actually what we want right now. And what I was saying before about the EX thing, if this was actually a machine that had come from factory with EX, it would say GS on the front. But we want to turn it into an EX. Now obviously there's no point sticking a sticker on the front, that's not going to help. What we need to do is flash it. Now this is the scary bit, because if you flash it, like all things, updating the firmware, if it messes up, I say all things, in lots of cases if it messes up, there's no coming back. So this could become a very expensive paperweight. And it would work as a paperweight, it's got some weight to it. But yeah, this is the bit of where I'm going to try to teach you how to do it. At the same time, I'm learning for myself. Because, as I say, I do not speak or read any Japanese. Thank goodness for Google Translate. But anyway, I'm going to do a bit of a setup now, because now you're going to want to see what I'm doing on my computer screen, and I want you to see what the front of this box of tricks is going to be doing. So I need to set up a webcam, so forgive the probably poor quality of resolution, but you should still be able to read what's happening, because I'm not holding it like this for the next half hour while I try pressing all of the buttons as well. I'm probably going to have to come back and press some buttons, but I'll do it sideways on. So let's leave that there for now, and then I'll set up a webcam here, but then you'll view it from there. You don't get a top-down view. What I should have actually done was turned it off and back on again. So I'll do that again, because what you saw before was this. What we need to do is turn it off, flip it across to USB at the back, turn it on, so we get to see this start up. And now it says host is offline, because the USB cable is hooked up to my computer. So we definitely need the drivers, and we need the update files. As I say, this particular website just gives the update files. So I went a bit of searching again, and I came across Yamaha's own link to everything to do with the MU2000 that they have. You see there's lots of things here. Again, it's in Japanese, obviously, not complaining about it, but it is. So again, I use Google Translate and gain that it is in fact the firmware and the software that they have, operating instructions, so basically the manuals, and then some other material. Basically it's talking about the different things that it has in this particular tone generator. So since I'm using Windows 11, I'm going to, and it's 64-bit, I'm going to be downloading this particular version. So click that, and then it gives you all of this, and yes, you agree to all different license agreements and things, and you click download. It says it can't translate the page, so do it from the original page. That's why I showed you that. I wanted you to see that it does fail. So again, 64-bit for Windows 10 for the USB driver, and you click this bit here because you're agreeing to it, and then you click here because you want the file, save it to wherever you want to save it, and there we go, I've got it. It's doing brackets 1 because I in fact have already downloaded this, so don't worry about that, but the point is it's there. And then we press back because we actually want the other file, we want the update file. Now be careful here, make sure you get the Windows one, not the Macintosh ones. Obviously the people that do Macintosh, if you've got a Macintosh and you feel like making a video, make one, because I don't have a Mac to be able to show you how to do it, but at least this is where you should be able to follow the same guidelines really, once it's already installed to the computer, not necessarily the rest of it, but to the computer, but I can't see it being much different. But anyway, get the driver for Windows since that's what we're using, and save. And where's our little download window? Where's that popped off to? There we go. And again, it's just got the brackets in one because I already have this downloaded, and you can't even see that, can you? Because you're looking behind. There we go. There they are. They were hiding behind the screen of the MU2000. So yes, there's the downloads there. So now you might still want to keep Google Translate going, but what I'm going to do, and I hope Yamaha don't get all fussy about it, I'm going to upload a certain file to the internet, because all it is a Google Translate. I'm not going to share their drivers and things because I don't want to get into trouble for that, and also if you download it directly from Yamaha, you can be trusted, or you can trust rather, that it's not being played around with. It's not going to do something differently than what it should be doing. So let's minimize that and then bring up the folder I already have of the zip files. And as I say, this is the file that I was talking to about translated. Now this particular readme file is inside here. This is this, which looks all very strange because I don't have the Japanese characters installed. I can load that using Notepad++, and you can see the files there. And it's got the Japanese characters, and if you can read Japanese, you'll be able to read it. So if you don't have the Japanese characters installed on your computer, I recommend that you install Notepad++, which is easy to find and install, and you can read through and understand that way. But what I've done is use Google Translate, and bit by bit, because you can only copy so much in at a time, it tells you in English. And I'm going to upload this to a place that you'll be able to read it through, so you won't have to do the translations yourself. It's still not 100% in the way that it's translated it, but for a computer it's fantastic, and it's an awful lot better than what I could do. I keep saying that, but it's true. But basically, it's tough luck if you ruin it, which you got to remember, these are not cheap, these MU2000s, and do it in a certain order. Now that certain order is what I'm going to be showing you how to do anyway, so not to worry too much. But also, it doesn't talk about going off and getting the drivers, annoyingly, because that was the first bit that was like, what's going on? So let's not forget which one's which. These are the drivers, and now this is the bit where you're going to be interested in what's happening on the MU2000 screen itself. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not making this run in compatibility mode or anything like that. It's just running in admin mode, which is what it wants to do by default. I'll drag it across when I can. There we go. So it's saying it's preparing to install. I'm going to have to keep dragging this because I'm not doing it I'm doing it on my second screen, not my first. So it's telling you all the license agreement type stuff, so you click yes, and again I have to keep dragging stuff. Click next. Now this is the bit, slow down, read what's happening, don't do it fast, understand what you're doing. Right, so click next. Oh, I wish it would just stay across. So it basically installed the drivers, and that's that. I didn't have to do anything too fancy with that one. So click finish. But now you notice the bottom right, the MU2000 has now found the host, hence your computer. So don't change anything with the MU2000 just yet. Now we go back and go for the updates. Now this is the scary bit. I haven't done this yet. I don't know what's going to happen. I really hope this works, because otherwise you can mess up the firmware and there's no fixing it from what I understand. So again, I've not done any compatibility modes or anything like that. I'm just running it. So this is the first part. Make sure you do the first part. Don't do second part, then the first part. Do the first part. Makes sense. Let's count properly. Right, so it's caution. Basically, be sure you create all applications that may be running under Windows before starting upgrade program. To upgrade program will initialize the data and the setting data inside the MU2000. Do not perform any other procedure outside of this described below during the installation process, as damage to the MU2000 could result in damage. So they're warning you, don't mess it up. Right, the one thing I want to mention to you is that what I've done already, and I can't show you because I'm using my second screen, but I've disabled my virus checker. Make sure you do that too. At this point you could even unplug your network cable or turn off your Wi-Fi, because you're not going to need it while you're doing it, just so that you make sure you're not getting hacked from someone from the outside world, as it were. I doubt you would do, but let's play safe. But it is a risk turning off your virus checker in itself, but we shouldn't be too long in doing this. Now anyway, let's get to the exciting bit now. We click yes. Now it's make sure that the computer is connected to the MU2000. This software supports USB connections. If you choose a serial terminal, you should use another serial download software. I can't find the other one. Maybe that's the way that the Mac's going to do it, I don't know. But anyway, let's click OK. At the bottom right, it's still sort of OK. It's saying the host should select the USB. We've already done that, but make sure you have now, if you're being silly and not following the steps I've done. Right, so we've got USB. Just to make doubly sure though, it is definitely USB in the back. I'm going to turn the device off, wait a second and turn the device back on again. This time it should say go straight into it. It has done because it was going through the USB. So this is what we've done, so we click OK. Now this is the bit where maybe some people think it's not working properly. You have to actually click down and select Yamaha MU2000 and click OK. Would you like to check the connection to make sure that everything is correct? We're going to click OK. We have to anyway, there's nothing else to select. And there we go, it's telling you, have you got MU2000 check, connection OK? We have. Now this is the bit where I've gone no further, I've always said no after this bit. Right, we click yes. Right, now this is the bit that is new to me. Go to the download mode using the procedure described below. Turn off the power to the MU2000. While pressing drum, play, value buttons, turn on the power to the MU2000. So I'm going to have to learn where all those buttons are. But we need to press drum, play and value plus. So let's find where they are. I'm going to click turn it off. You'll hear my chair click around and everything while I'm swinging myself around. Right. Where is the first one? What do we need for the first one? Right. Drum. If you can see drum, shout it out right now because I can't. Drums in the bottom right. Let's pull out a little bit so we can see all the buttons. You can see some of the mountain in the background. Right, so that's all the buttons that we're going to need. So what have we got? We've got to press drum, which is that button there. Then we need to click play as well. We need to hold all these down at the same time, but we need to find play. That's right. So drum, play, and select, sorry, value plus. There's value plus. That's that one, I believe. It would make sense if it is. Yep. So we're pressing drum, play, press all these buttons down, all three of them. I'm going to use my thumb to turn it on. Download mode. Host select USB, so we've got that far. Alright, does the message shown below? So, yes, it does. Would you like to start the upgrade of the MU2000? It should take about 5 minutes once you've started the upgrade. Yes, I do. So this is the scary bit. I hope it's working. Whatever you do, don't unplug, don't knock anything, don't turn off the fire, don't do a short circuit or anything like that. I'm recording it in real time, but I will jump ahead. Let's move a little bit closer so we can see what it's saying there, because there's lots of reflection. What's it saying there? Doing. It's saying doing.
One eternity later.
Okay, so that takes a long time. It takes a lot longer for the app on the PC to come back, even though that the MU2000 looks like it's more than ready. So be very patient, seriously, be very patient. It was pushing 5 minutes before it actually came back. So we're going to say yes to this now because that's what we have. Alright, turn off the MU back on again. Upgrade was successful. It says the MU128. That's worrying. That's very worrying. Maybe they've got a bit confused in the other stuff, but okay, we'll click. Alright, I'll turn it off now. And we'll turn it back on again. It's starting in download mode still. Okay, we'll click OK. I'll move on to the second part. Hopefully this brings it out of download mode, because currently I have no idea how to get back. Bit worrying. Right, so this is the second part I've gone into. You can see I've just been doing it mindlessly there. I've gone into the second part now. Click yes, it's all the same as before. I have to select MU1, click OK. Yes, I would like to make a connection. Yes, it's now saying download mode and everything, so we click yes. Would you like the upgrade to that? Yes. This can take about 12 minutes. So hopefully this takes it out of the download mode then. So, oh, download a race sector, so it's erasing stuff. So this is really going for it then. Maybe this will put it back into normal mode. Maybe the first part was to allow this update. Come on, blue line, do something. Oh, come on. Well, I'll come back when there is a blue line starting, so you can watch that and come back. But at the moment, I'm watching the clock to make sure, is it roughly 12 minutes that go by? So, see when you come back, or when I come back even. Okay, eraser's been done now. Oh, just as I said that, eraser's been done. But yeah, I'll come back when it's doing something else.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Oh, that took 3 minutes before it got to that bit.
Later, in the void.
So that seems to be the last chunk of data, it seems. Right, it's checking it now. Seems to feel everything's all okay, so fingers crossed. When it comes back, we're no longer in download mode. It's asking, does the sum check, check out? What am I waffling on about? Does the download check sum equal 2,762? Okay, yes it does. Right, complete. Turn off your power to MU128. Turn it back on again. Your upgrade was successful. This is really annoying that they've left that as MU128 when it's not. Right, so we click O. Right, well, I'll click OK now. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to turn the power off. Now I'm going to flick the switch at the back to MIDI. I'm going to remove the USB cable. There we go. Alright, let's see what it does. Turns it back on. Fact set. Welcome to the MU2000EX. There we go, that's one thing it didn't explain. So, let's turn it off again. Okay, to make this interesting, make it full screen. Oh, the worry. Right, let's turn it on. What have we got? Welcome to MU2000EX. So there we go, the update is taken. There's nothing to worry about. That's that. So yeah, I recommend that you take the USB cable out the back and you turn it to MIDI mode before you turn it back on again. But what have we learned? We can use Windows 11 64-bit. You don't need to create a Windows XP mode. You don't need to do it in a virtual machine. You can do it straight out using the drivers that Yamaha supplies and that link that I have there. Don't worry, again, it's in the description. And then make sure you get a decent USB cable. Don't get a cheapo one. Get a decent one. It doesn't have to be vastly expensive, but I recommend it's decent, it's got good reviews behind it, and it's only about 1 meter long. So then you've got less worry about rubbish copper and all that sort of stuff. Because after all, even if it doesn't reach properly in use like that, you can at least rest it next to your computer. I would also recommend, if you're using a laptop, you go into the settings in Windows and make sure that the power doesn't go into sleep mode for the USB. Don't allow that to happen, because it does take a while in between different bits it's doing, and you don't want your computers to confuse things and think, oh well, there's no USB connection, because it's gone to sleep and it takes time to wake up and things. And we don't know how good the updating program's been programmed, because let's be honest, it was written yesteryear, 20 odd years back, so which was more of a worry with things. So anyway, back to things then. The description is down below. I will put the translated text file up to a place where you can download it from. If Yamaha's not happy, I may have to remove it, but I doubt they're too bothered about something so old now. But the drivers are directly from Yamaha. So as always, I do hope this has been of interest. Have a look in the description to find all the bits that you need to find there, in the realms of joining my Patreon, joining my Discord channel, and what else would I like you to do? Oh yes, hit that subscribe button. But as always, happy gaming.